This video is going to cover stem and leaf plots. I do expect you to know how to do this. It's not covered in our books, so this is something extra that I feel that you need to know. So a stem and leaf plot is a special table where the data value is split into a stem, which is usually the first digit or digits, and then a leaf, which is usually the last digit. So we are going to do a stem and leaf plot of the length of 15 phone calls, and these times are in minutes. So our first step is to order the data. So I always cross off as I work. So 2 10s. Next would be 12, and then 14, then 16, 17, 18. Next is 23, 25, here's another 25, 34, 35, and 56. Now I'm going to double check here, and I see I missed 20. This is exactly why I cross off. So I'm going to add 20 in here. Cross that off. Now I'm going to double check again. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, I've got all my pieces of data. Now we're going to go ahead and make the stem and leaf plot. So step 2 is make the stem and leaf plot. So what you're going to do is you are going to create this T and label stem up here and then leaf up here. So we're going to look at our data and decide how we want to do this, and you can look at it and see that I think the easiest thing would be to go by tens. And some might say, well, wait a second, here's a 3 here. Well, we can always imply that there's a 0. So let me show you how this would work. So under the stem, we would do 0, and the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. So you might say, well, we don't have any 40s. Well, you have to write it in order. You can't skip. So you need to keep that 4 in there. It has to be sequential like that. So now we will go ahead and fill in our values. The pen, and we will do this. So we have the 3. And again, I'm going to come up here and cross off as I do this. And then we've got the 10. So for the 10, we already have the 1. So we're just going to add the 0. We've got another 10, so I had another 0. We have a 12. We're just adding the last digit here. We have a 4. We have a 6. We have a 7. We have an 8. No commas between them, just like that. Next, we're going to move on to the 20s. We have a 20, a 23, 25, and a 25. So 0, 3, 5, and 5. And I have no idea what my computer screen is doing. We'll just try and ignore it. For 30s, I have 34 and 35. So that would be a 4 and a 5. We have nothing in the 40s, so we just leave that blank. And we do have 56, so the 6. And that's what our stem and leaf plot looks like. So we might get some questions such as, what was the shortest call? And so we'll look on the stem and leaf plot, and we would know that 3 minutes was the shortest call. Okay, well, what was the longest call? Longest call was 56 minutes. And someone might ask, how many calls were more than 30 minutes? And we could look and we could say 1, 2, 3. 3 calls were longer than 30 minutes. So stem and leaf plot is just another way to visualize data. You might also see it written without, let me show you. You might see it written like this, where it just looks like this, where it's kind of floating, where it doesn't have the lines. It's the same exact thing, just a slightly different way to present it. So that's how you do a stem and leaf plot.